Greetings Internet, welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode we are continuing mission 1 and we're just about to start action round 2 of the first mission, or the first time we're doing action rounds. In the last episode we had a enemy or German sniper activate in this hex here. He shot and injured Cornwall. He's now incapacitated. In the first round he decided to go prone, as there was quite a few Americans that can see him, and as I say, we're now about to start action round 2. We've got gentlemen that are off board who can enter this turn if they become aware of the situation. So following the actual sequence, it's the US awareness phase. I have to do a perception check on all the other guys. So at the present moment we have got Edwards and Dillon who are aware, but now we have to check for everybody else. So this is done on their perception. So Ambrose has got a perception of 7. He's my squad leader. He rolls an 8. He's unaware of the situation. That's not very good. Okay, we then have Bell, not Campbell. Campbell was one I was going to call Soldier C, but then I had Bell. So Bell, Corporal Bell. He also rolls a 6. His perception is 6, so he is aware. So let me mark him as to the side there. Ambrose isn't. So we've still got F as Fitzpatrick. His perception is 3. He rolls a 5, so he's unaware. And the final one, Hudson. I had to have a Private Hudson. 6. His perception is 1. He's quite happy. Those 3 are probably sitting waiting to hear feedback. I mean, they must hear the shots, but they're unaware. So I have effectively and Gibson. See if he's aware. I know he's been patching up or looking at what's happening in Cornwall, but he has a perception of 2. He rolls a 6, so he's not aware either. So I have 3 aware chaps. So let's move those onto, and that's what that looks like on the action round now here. So we have the German and my 3 guys. Everyone else is either unaware, they'll become aware next round, action round, and Cornwall who's out of action. So I now roll no, I rolled an event, not on round 1. Conduct 1 event check with adding the results dice together. 1 event check. So I've got to roll a 0 and a 5, so that's a 5. This is looking at the paragraph situation, so I'm looking at 5 for random event. And it tells me there is none. Okay. And then we're looking at initiative. That's where we roll both dice. Higher has initiative. Americans roll an 8, the Germans roll a 1. Okay. So with that in mind, if we zoom a little bit on there, can we do that? Yeah, there we go. So the Germans are on a 1. Okay, so he will get 1 turn. That's shown on there. There's a number 1 in that box there. So that goes there. I roll an 8, so looking at Bell, we move up. He has advantage because we've got the run initiative, so he'll get 1 turn. He's sitting in there. Edwards with an 8 with advantage. He's up here with potentially 2 if he doesn't panic. Well, he's still out of command, so he panics. I hope my commander hasn't come on the board yet. Dylan, he's also with an 8, so he'll be in the same box. Again, out of command. So those two are still panicking, waiting someone to come on the field and tell them what to do. Okay. Roll for a new German action number. It's a 3, so it's the same as last time. So that guy could still be hitting the field, the dirt. Alright, so now going in order, the first one to activate will be Bell, who's coming on the field. So let's bring the camera back over here. Right, and he is aware. Okay, well, if I bring him on crouch, you can only move. Now that we're in action rounds, movement points is now important. So standing up is pretty much what the terrain effect is per hex, dependent. So clear will be 1, going through woods is 2, etc. If I bring him on in a crouch, he'll be moving at the rate of 1 hex per turn. However, as there is a sniper there, and I don't know, I'm not checking this, I think it'll probably be the same paragraph because it's the same action number, nothing else has seriously changed, but I'll be bringing him, I'll have to do a paragraph check. So I will be bringing him on a crouch, and I'll be bringing him on F1, see what that actually brings. Will that bring more activations, or hopefully... that says none, so nothing's happened. That's him, that's all he's doing is moving onto the field. I now move his action chip down to complete. That is his actual turn done. I now look at the German on the disadvantage row, and what does he do? So looking at, we're still on condition 3, so the condition hasn't increased. And his action number is 3, he's 808, he's staying prone. Okay. So if he's staying prone, and then my panic guys do nothing, that effectively, it was a very short action round, but that is completed. So we now move into action round 3. Do I need to keep track of these now? I assume it's really only the first 2, but yeah, all US soldiers are automatically aware. So we might as well put these all back up to... We now have a commander on the field. He can command these other guys. We now do an event check. We have the 2 numbers together. We have an 8 and a 4 is 12. RE for a 12, random event. Right, something does happen. It tells me to go to S, so sighting 9, 453. So I better take note of that, 453. Sighting 9, that hasn't occurred before, so this paragraph will need to be checked. So if I had a sighting 9, this paragraph would have been looked at, but we haven't, so here we go. So 453, 453. It's a random event, 453. Right. Trailing smoke, a British Typhoon fighter crash lands in hex R15. Wow. Place a landmark counter in that hex showing a smouldering aeroplane. Any soldiers in that hex at the moment of impact are killed. R15, no. The US soldier enters R15 while the landmark counter is in the hex, C349. Note this paragraph number on your squad record as a reminder. Okay, I'm going to do all that, and then so I'm going to pause the video. Well, that's exciting. So, let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, show this in relation to where we are. So that's down here. We're obviously still up here, held up by this sniper here. So a long way away at present. So let's zoom back in on our action. So we can see a trail of smoke over there. All right, so that was the event for this turn. Sorry, action round. Okay, we roll initiative now. Okay, so the Americans roll a 9, the Germans a 5. So the Americans have the initiative, and I'll compare that number now with my chit. So let's do the German first. He's on a 5. Looks like he's going to get 2 rounds. Okay, so Ambrose, the squad leader, with a 9. He's going to get 1 round. Bell with a 9. Advantage. Oh, I can't. Okay. It's a red number, but he's in command. So you don't panic. Okay. Dylan with a 9. He's okay. Edwards with a 9 will be okay. So all these guys will be in there with a 1. So they'll all get 1 turn. Okay. Cornwall, as he's wounded, doesn't get anything. So, yeah, I have the camera position so that they're at the wrong place, so I've just been filling in that part over there. So the first soldier to activate will be Bell. Okay, so the German is still prone. What to actually do about that chap? He's still prone. He's got 2 actions. He could transfer an action to Dylan. He's in command, so he will use his action to transfer an action to Dylan. This will move Dylan to having 2 actions this turn, rather than the 1. I'm just moving that marker, and Corporal Bell has moved down to the 1. So he's given his action, and that is the next person activated will now be Dylan. So he's basically to get the Brownings, fire it. So let's see if we can hit this prone guy. So Dylan will open fire with the Browning. So there's a certain sequence I've got to go through when a weapon fires. So I select the target and check line of sight when we know it's clear line of sight. It'll be an aimed fire, and the first thing we've got to check for is jamming. There's a 5% chance that the weapon will jam. Automatic rifle, yeah, 5% chance. Okay, roll 31, so it ain't jammed. Okay, next thing I'll check the range. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For the Browning, 2 to 9 is short range, so that gives me a target to hit of 5. So I need 5 to hit there. Then I check Dylan's weapon skill. He's +1, so that makes it a 6. However, the German is prone, so it's hard to target, and in the woods. Wow. No wonder he's ducking down. That's -4. So that drops my 6 to a 2. So I need a 2 or less. Zeros are low. I roll a 0. Whoop. Okay, that's good. That is a hit. Well done, Dylan. So now we check for the effect of that shot. Okay, so the effect will be, I look on the same table. Right, so I roll again. 0 will be a panic. 1 to 3 a wound, 4 to 6 incapacitated, 7 to 9 is a kill. It's an 8. Shot him outright. Well done. That was a difficult shot, Dylan, but a sustained fire from the Browning takes out that German. The next thing I checked is ammunition. There's a 25% chance he's used a full clip on that. I rolled 86, so no, he's okay. So with some precise shooting, Dylan has removed that German. Well, I don't actually remove it. I put a KIA counter upon him. So let's just move that over there. Let's zoom back out. I'll put a KIA. Wow, this game's deadly. Alright, it was a 30% chance of a hit. But prone in woods, he's now KIA. So I assume that means the counter stays on the board that particular guy won't be coming back. So we've taken out a sniper. He's taken out one of our squad. That also, so that moves Dylan down to 2. Now, I don't think that ends the action round. I'm looking, because there's no Germans actually active on the board now, but there's still some of my soldiers that are ready to go. So I just need to check that. Okay, as there's no active Germans on the board, I believe that does take me back to operations. So, which is the more free-flowing phase. So I think I need to get my other guys onto the board. So I'm going to bring Ambrose, and he's going to go into here, which I'll do a quick check. I don't think I need to do a check in the hex anymore, but let's just double check. I think that had the word none, but yeah, none. So I know that hex, whoever moves from there will get a 1. So we'll go into D2. Let's go lead it and then see what that one says. That one actually says event. So I've got to roll, see what the event is. That's a total of 6. So I'll move the event in this card to the 6th position, and it's telling me there is an event. Sighting 5455. Okay. Let me check what that is. Okay, so that's sighting 5, so that hasn't occurred before, so I've now marked that on my track on here. So if that sighting occurs again, then I don't read the paragraph, but it's the first time, so I do. So 455 is telling me every US soldier within sight of hex M5. M5, so where's M5? M1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Oh, I don't know if anyone's got a sighting of M5. There's obviously through the woods. No one has line of sight to M5. Okay, well, let's keep that there. Obviously something's happening there. If no checks are made, no event. Okay, so nothing's happened. But that sighting check has been called. So if no checks are made, no event. So does that mean the sighting check hasn't occurred? So no event. I think that's what it means. Do correct me if I am wrong everybody, but as there was no one with line of sight in there, no sighting has occurred. Alright, so but I'm going to leave that marker on there because the game has given me something. Alright, so let's move Hudson on. Okay, he's also going to go in a crouch, and he's going to go through this X, then this X, and then he's going to go one further. So that is D3. D3. It's telling me none. Alright, let's get the rest of the time. Let's get Fitzpatrick on. And he's going to go one hex further. And so they're moving in a crouch. They know there's a sniper out there. And he'll go into D4. Okay. Am I doing this right? Because I mean, that was a no event. But didn't say put an event marker on. So if they're moving through there, do I have to check it each time? Because now, no, because he'd have moved to there. That event, no one would have line of sight there, so it's still no event. By the time I get here, it's still no event, so nothing's happened. Right, I'm just making sure I'm getting that right. Any comments, guys, you know, to assist on that one? I believe that is correct. So just my theory working. So I went into this hex here. It told me to look. There was no line of sight to that hex. So then Hudson would move to here. As he goes through the hex, there's the same paragraph check. Still no one has line of sight. He'd move to there. Then it came up with a none. And then Fitzpatrick, same thing. Still. So when Fitzpatrick is in here, does Hudson have line of sight to M5? Now, no, still going through that wood hex there. So no, so now Fitzpatrick has moved to here. Now, there's no check for that hex, but we do now know if that hex comes up again, the M5, which is likely to in a moment because I've got Edwards I want to move up. But I'm going to now focus a little bit on Bell's fire team. So I'm going to move. Dylan did a good shot on there, so I'm going to keep him where he is. Or do I? Now let's move up Bell into F2 there. That's also calling for an event. That's a good point. I should maybe have. It could be a different event, couldn't it? Yeah, I think I need. Do I need to go back on that? Yes. No. Yeah, because I'm rolling. It's rolling for an event. It's not going to necessarily be the same event. Yeah, I think I'm diddling the system. Okay, let's just quickly run those back. So Hudson and Fitzpatrick haven't come on. So we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so when Hudson comes on here, we know it's none, but here, which is D2, it is an event check. It hasn't told me to put an event marker or no event marker on there. D2 is still an event check. So I was assuming it would be the same event, but obviously it's a die roll. Every time it's a die roll. So this time it's a 7. So it's a different event, not the same. So sorry for the little backtrack there, guys, but as I said, so this is now S9 453. And I think we've had Society 9, so we ignore that. Okay, so then Hudson comes into this hex, and we know that was a none. So then Fitzpatrick gets to there, and he rolls for an event. He rolls an 8. An 8, that is S7. We haven't had an S7. So S7 450. 450. Okay. So it's a different text. Oh, every US soldier within sight of hex M10. Oh, it's a different hex. So M10. No, yeah, 10. Oh, that's pretty much most of them. Yeah, there's nothing. You know, they can all see that he's on a upper level right on the edge there. Yeah, he definitely could be seen. Right, so 450. Reading the text. Every US soldier within sight of hex M10 must make a PC check -2. If any succeed, C606. If all fail, C197. Okay, so the person who caused this check was Hudson, so we should start with him. His perception isn't the greatest. Looking for my... Yeah, it's quite a bit of paper for this. Okay, Hudson has got a perception of 1. So -2, that's -1. Well, you always succeed on a 0. No, he's not aware. Okay, so moving backwards, we then got Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick has got a perception of 3, becomes a 1. He rolls a 0. He's seen something. Okay, so what's he seen? 450. If you succeed, go to 6066. There's no point rolling any further checks because one person has seen. Right, 45. Well, if all fail, see what? If no checks are made, no event. Right, so 606. 606. All right. Activate Germans 1 and 81 in indicated hex. Okay, I'll get all that out, so I'm going to pause at this point. Okay, reading the text of that first event that activated, I needed to check every US soldier, and it's quite important that I do. So it was perception at -2. So we know that Fitzpatrick's passed. Then we have Ambrose, Sergeant Ambrose, PC7, which becomes PC5. He passed, and I'm activating, showing these twists to the side. Edwards, perception 4. -2 becomes 2, but he rolled a 1, so he passed. We then have Bell. His perception 6 becomes 4. 3, he passed it. So Dylan, with a perception of 3, becomes 1. He rolls a 9, no, he's unaware. And the last one, Gibson, perception of 2 becomes 0, he's unaware as well. Because the actual paragraph then that moves to 606, which actually says activates Germans 1 and 81 in indicated hex, which is here, which we've done. Okay, and they're standing. Commence rounds, so we're now going to rounds. US advantage. The US soldier, well, there was a soldier who just made this PC check, which is all those ones I've knocked to the side there, are automatically aware. So they are automatically aware in that first round. That's why it was important I had to do the rest of the checks. So that's the situation. We've got 2 German soldiers activating here. So they are both armed. One's armed with a machine pistol. That's German 1. Let's bring his card up, if you can see there. So he's got initiative of 1. Perception of 2, weapon skill of -1, movement of 3. So he's not the greatest soldier on the planet. And his accomplice is German soldier 81, initiative 1, PC 1, weapon skill -2. This is obviously late war. These two are not very good soldiers, but they are there and we have to deal with them. Okay, which then moves on to here, which I'll place them in this box here. They've both got initiative 1, so they're down here. This is the completed areas where they go. At the present moment, I now need to mark which of my guys are aware and which aren't aware. So we know Ambrose is aware, Hudson isn't, so he'd be in the unaware. Gibson isn't, so they're both unaware. They'll get an awareness check in a moment, but Dylan is aware, so goes in the completed. Fitzpatrick was the first one. Edwards is aware. Bell is aware. So we've got two guys that are unaware, but they will check in a moment. So that is us ready for this next sequence of action rounds, starting at action round 1. So I think we'll get that started. So the first thing that happens when we go into action rounds, we check awareness. So it's a perception check on Gibson. Gibson now has a perception of 2. He rolls a 9. No, he's still aware. He's obviously still concentrating on Cornwall's wound. And Hudson, he has perception of 1, rolls a 2. So he's aware something's going on, and he's like shrugging his shoulders, you know, as he sees the other guys start to focus on these two Germans that are standing over here. There's no event in action phase 1. I keep using phase, rounds, turns. This is an action round, okay? After that, we roll the initiative. It did say that I have the advantage, so this is really just to see where they appear on this grid. Okay, so I've rolled a 0, James rolled a 5. Okay, so we'll do them first. They're on there on a 5. Yeah, because they've got disadvantage. Right, myself on the 0. So Ambrose on 0, he's way at the top there. Okay. Bell, he only gets 1 turn. These guys, right, it's a red number. I have to check for panic. Right, so command control. Got to be within 2 hexes of commanders, which all my guys are, which adds 5. Right, adds their the commander's initiative to their own initiative, and it's got to be 5 or higher for them to be in command. So if we start with Edwards, Edwards got an initiative of 2. Ambrose got an initiative of 4, so that's 6, so he's in command. Fitzpatrick, he's actually stacked with Ambrose. He's got initiative 2, so he's in command. And then Dylan, he's close to Campbell, who's got initiative of 3. Dylan's got initiative 2, that's 5. It's got to be 5 or greater. Let me just check and make sure it is 5 or greater to be in command. The result is less than 5 soldier panic. So they didn't panic. So that check was made because that particular box with the 0 has a red number on there. So that check had to be made. The 2 unaware guys, I don't need to do anything with. So all my guys are ready to go. So after that we have roll for German activation number. And it's a 0. That's again placed on there. Right. Okay, so we now start with Ambrose. He is the first one to activate. he can give one of his orders to Dylan, to anyone that's within 2 hexes. He could also make his action to make one of the other guys aware. I'm not sure if that's automatic. I think I'd better check that before I just do it. Okay, so I've decided we were just about to start an action round sequence, and I'm going to pause the video at this point because I'm conscious of how long I've been going on for. So I don't want to make the episodes too long. So as we've now, as I say, got 2 German activated here. Determine which of my guys are able to or are aware of that situation. It doesn't quite clearly say what happens. I've got these 2 guys. I know what the activation number is, 0. Do I check those paragraphs now or wait until it's their turn to activate? It doesn't, well, I can't see where it says, but I think I should only really check what those paragraphs do when it comes to them activating on here, because they'll be the last to activate anyway. So I'm going to do all my stuff from here and through and then do them. But we'll be doing that in the next video. Like I say, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye Internet.